the cloud. Yes, there we go. Um, Coach, who is a dear friend of mine and a business marketing coach. Ah, got it. Okay, cool. I don't know that person, but God bless all of us helpers. This topic of, first of all, I want to say thank you for who is here live, who will arrive today, and the women who have been here over the last couple days, and those of you who are watching this as a replay. Thank you for being here. I hope that you're at a place of being able to really absorb what it is that I'm discussing here. And this is an initial, right? There's so much more. Like, you're behind the screen, I'm here. Like, this is the tip of the iceberg. And I'm feeling heightened joy today. It's 6 o'clock in the afternoon here in Paris, and I've already been out for the afternoon with my sister, who's visiting for 3 weeks from California, and we went to one of my favorite, you could call it a patisserie, but it's so much more, and I want to show you guys some pictures. It's called Angelina's. When you come to Paris, you must come to this place. First of all, here is my dessert. Wait, let me show you. Here's our dessert. And after I took a bite out of mine, look at that. Oh my God. And then here's one picture of me and my sister. That's today. And here's another one. Yay! Such fun. Beautiful, decadent, great time for connection and enjoying Paris. Let me close this as a distraction here. I'm internally, there's been this full circle moment of, and Madeline, I'd love to, like yesterday, I enjoyed and appreciated the engagement from you and the other women about this certain questions you have, certain topics on your mind, certain frustrations that you're having, because I'd rather talk to those than, right? One thing I do want to say a little bit about is this way women run from their power. And my greatest authority is with myself. So I like to use stories from my own experience. And I was talking with my sister today about a really pivotal moment and me really claiming my power and standing for it when I was confronted. This is so important for women. And my heart goes out because I know it's the fear of loss of love, or, fear of rejection, not belonging, that makes so many of us. And I spoke a bit to this yesterday, Madeline, if you remember. But that was present for me. It's universal. It's present for many of us when it's natural. We want to be loved, right? It's a normal thing. And yet we have to risk losing that love or having a different relationship with the person that we're afraid of if we are committed to our own freedom. There is no in between. And so I remember when I started, there's two examples, and I'm going to speak to one first because it was up today when my sister and I were enjoying dessert earlier. And it was the first time I started writing publicly. I think I mentioned this the other day, in an unfiltered way. And it was highly sexual. It was, vulgar. It was, right? I was talking about sucking dick and being fucked on the floor, and out there for everybody to see. And my internal feeling of what it felt like to, once upon a time, to be traumatized by sexual abuse. And I was writing in very graphic ways to heal myself, to free myself, to be unhinged, untethered, untamed by all this stuff that I was holding, but needed to be released. So it's like unclogging the pipe so that I could then come out into the world and be clear and be magnetic and attract clients and have a level of cleanness versus wearing a mask and trying to be a certain kind of way. And yet I'm harboring all this stuff. And this is what you're going to have to do as a transformational leader. You're going to be helping traumatized people, people who want to change, heal, grow, become better. There's a level of purity within you, a level of transparency that you have to be willing to reveal so that you can magnetize people, especially because it's so loud now in the world. It's so dense with fear and fucking hate. Like, that shit is rich right now. You see how fucking rich the hate and fear is? It's another reason why I want you to come here to Paris, because I want you to change at a core and permanent level. We can work together virtually, obviously, but there's a power in immersion. Immersion, right? Just imagine immersing underwater, right? Immersing in a new city with feminine allure, like Paris. Changing in that way, removing yourself. Imagine that, removing yourself from your everyday reality, where you know kind of like how things are going to go. You're going to wake up, do the same thing. And so it's why I'm so, like, I'm over here. My job is to bring women over here. That's my greatest desire, bring them here. There's a place for virtual. And for the women who want that and there's resonance, we'll do that. And then there are other women who are meant to be a part of the family here. That's what I'm hungry for. Radical transformation at a core and permanent level. So anyway, and so when I started writing in this way, my greatest fear is when my mom finds this, what's going to happen? That was my greatest fear. The second greatest fear was, what are people going to think? But that was like, well, now they'll know who I am. But my mom was the fear. So I was writing like this for 2-3 months and a little longer. And then the fear was realized. And it was a weekend. I was babysitting my niece and nephew. This is in California. My sister was in the Bay Area, she and my mom. And I get this text that they're on their way back to Sacramento. And the text is from my sister. And it says, "Mommy found your blog and she's going batshit crazy." That was the text. And we're on our way. Just want you to know that. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. It's like how Madeline said, I'm ready to up level in a huge way. Well, life will test you to see if you really mean that. And that's what happened. Life said, oh, you want to show up in the world transparent and impact and magnetize people and be this voice and be powerful and help people and make this money. Oh, really? Do you? Prove it. That's what life will do for you. So opportunities will come right before your face and you will prove it by meeting them, or you will back down. And so that happened to me. So here we go. They're on their way back to Sacramento. I am terrified, right? Because then I'm trying to remember, oh, fuck, what did I write about again? Then I started remembering, oh my God, I wrote about sucking dick. My mother wrote about me sucking dick. My mother wrote about me getting fucked on the floor of my apartment. My mother wrote about the self-hate that I had and the child molestation. Oh my God. So here it is. I'm freaking out. So for an hour, I'm freaking out. This is you stepping into your power. What are you going to do? What are you going to do when you're freaking out? What are you going to do when you're freaking out about your husband who maybe doesn't like you anymore, doesn't want to be married anymore because you're coming into a new level of power that you never had before? Oh, he's going to leave you. He's the breadwinner. Oh my God, I'm going to be home, right? The mind goes, right? So here they are. They're outside my sister's house now. I hear them getting out of the car. Fuck, here we go. They come in the house. My mom is playing It's So Cool. She doesn't know that I know that she found my blog. Her and my sister come in the house. So we're all in the house now. My sister, my mom, my niece and nephew. My mom goes into the kitchen. She's still playing it cool. We're like having this small talk, and I'm waiting for the big blow up because I already know that she knows about my blog, and I know my mother. She's gonna fucking confront me about this because that's the kind of woman she is. And I'm just waiting for it. I'm sitting on the couch in the living room, and she's in the kitchen. She's not looking at me, right? But we can still talk to each other. That's how close the living room and the kitchen are. And she says, just out of the blue, she says, Naima, I found your blog. Like, here it is, Naima. Are you going to be in your power the way you say you want to be a powerful woman and you want to go to the next level? Or are you going to acquiesce and ask for mommy to forgive you and say, sorry? And so she said that to me, and I said nothing. I really didn't know what to say. I said nothing. So then she comes to the kitchen doorway where she can see me now. I'm sitting on the couch. She comes to the kitchen doorway and she looks at me with that black mother look. Naima, I found your blog. Like, and what the fuck you gonna do about it? That's how she's looking at me, right? And I'm looking at her and she's looking at me. And then here it goes. What are you doing? This is what she says to me. You're embarrassing me. You need to take that blog down. Who do you think you are? I mean, like, and she gets louder. And then I'm just bubbling on the end. I'm just like, like my throat starts to, right? And I'm just like, and then I get my bearings and I'm not saying anything. And she's going at me. You have an MBA. She gets louder. You have an MBA. What are you doing? You need to take that blog down. And then she's getting louder. So now my niece and my nephew come from the back and they're watching the scene. So it's like a fucking circus. And I'm just, so I'm breathing and I'm just sitting there and I'm getting my bearings. And like, this is how life happens. It's like, are you going to back down, Naima, and start apologizing and crying, right? Or are you going to rise up into the power that you say that you want to be? And so she's standing, like, she is relentless. She's not quitting. She's waiting for me to, right, say something, do something, say, I'm sorry, I'm going to take it down, because she's demanding that I take down my blog from the internet, okay? And I went back to the original commitment that I made with myself, which is what each and every one of you are going to have to do if you're serious about this womanhood thing. If you're serious about making money to change the world, if you're serious about being a leader and helping women, being a model, because you be the model first of claiming your womanhood, taking your power back, your voice, your authority over your body, your mind, your dominion. You do it before you try to show somebody else how to do it. Like, you fraud, you're not even in your power. How do you tell somebody else to be in theirs? And I knew that if I was going to be in the leader in the world and be a true leader, where I was walking my talk, that I was going to have to step into the areas where I was terrified. And this, with my mother, I was terrified. Okay? So I get my bearings in order. I go back to the commitment that I made with myself when I first started publishing these blogs, where it wasn't about money. It wasn't even about helping people. It was about, let me get my shit together. That's what me writing these blogs in an unfiltered way and publishing them was about. So as she's berating, right? Remember, she's like right there, she's waiting. And it's almost like it's kind of like, you see those movies and you see the person like thinking and they have the other person talking in the background. Like, it was like that. And finally I looked at her with all that I had, all the power I had in that moment, all the power that, as far as I could see, and I said to her, I said, Mom, this is who I am. Straight face, calm tone of voice, sure, not backing down, not asking for permission, not asking for approval. This is it. Take it or leave it. After all that screaming and berating and everything, when I met my mother with that calm conviction, that assuredness and that power, she literally turned around and went back in the kitchen and didn't say another word. This is the power that I'm talking about. It's assuredness. It has nothing to do with anybody else. And it's moments like those. And I had more additional moments like that with my mother. Maybe not as big as that one, because that was like the volcano. And she would come at me and challenge me. And what I can see now, it wasn't even about her challenging me. That was a representation of what life will do to see how serious you are about making the money you want to make, being the woman you want to be. And it's why I have so much compassion for women who are like, I want to be in power, but I'm scared my husband's going to leave. I want to be in power, but what are people going to say? I want to be in power. I want to make the money. I want to travel with my kids. I want to do this, but what about? And what I know is, even with all of those fears and worries, at the end of the day, you got to be in it. You have to give a shit enough. You have to give a shit enough to throw caution to the wind in whatever way you need to. Like, that was the way I needed to do it. And I have another story I want to share, which I started to talk about yesterday. The one that inspired the blog post titled Fucking Another Woman's Man. That's all about standing in your power from a sexual perspective, because that's one of the areas that most women can be beat and taken out of their power and shamed and wronged, is through their sexual energy. But before I go there, who wants to holler at me about something? This womanhood work is no joke. It's no joke. I'm advanced enough now where I can tell when a woman is ready. I've been doing this long enough. I've talked to hundreds and hundreds of women all over the world. And I know when a woman is ready, when I can take her with her commitment to a much higher level. And when she's not ready, I can tell by the way she talks. I can tell by the way she engages with me, or the way she engages with others. And I am ready to work with those of you and have you be a part of a family. This is a family. We're starting small and we're growing. Like, this is what this is my life. This has been my entire life. So I see we have several women here. Please introduce yourself. Ask a question. What brings you here today? What is your current challenge as it relates to your voice, your pussy, your body, your relationships, your man, your money? What is it? Talk to me. Ah. Ah. It's intense and it's worth it. I mean, look, coming into that power with my mother is directly linked to my ability to be here in Paris, my sister in the other room, the lifestyle I live, being here with you. I'm going to show you how to do the same thing. But anyway, I want to hear from some of you before I go any further. I'm not going to just be talking here. And I'm totally willing to just end this if nobody has anything to say. Got to pay the price. You want the life, you want the power, you want the money, you want the respect, the recognition, pay the price. Hey. Madeline says she's typing. I had my first big challenge over for me last week, and I made the choice that I wasn't going to let my fear get the best of me. I was going to use my power to take these challenges. Wonderful, good. Who else? Introduce yourself. We have several women here. I want to see, before I go on, I want some introductions from some women here. That's my standard right now. So as soon as I get those introductions, which I love, by the way, I want you to know I love it. I really do. Especially, folks who are in other countries outside of the United States, I love it. But even if you're in the United States, that's cool too. I know Madeline is in the United States. Where else? I know Genevieve, who was here, is in the UK. Who else? Wow, Bucharest. Hello. Wow, what brings you here, darling? Are you going to be flying to London? We have a woman from Slovenia flying from Slovenia to London for the More Than Enough Money event on August 8th, which we're very excited about. MoreThanEnoughMoneyTour.com for those of you who are ready to create more money than you ever have in your business. More money than you ever have in your business. You'll see when you go to that website, More Than Enough Money Tour, you're going to see so many testimonials from our private clients who are making $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 a month. Oh, great. Friend of mine. I love that you accidentally put money with mine. I know you. Oh, I love it. We're going to be doing it again. I know you meant to say mine. We're going to be doing it again tomorrow since she accidentally streamed on her husband's page, which was actually cool too, like double positive whammy. Love it. Even more people were able to get the message. Oh, hey, Loretta, you're back. Yeah. Welcome back, darling. If we're making the right decisions. And wait, let me get my eyes together. The screen is moving. Come on, I usually have to make a decision if I don't make a decision. So I'm going to be here a little longer than normal. It's the last one. I'm feeling generous. Let's do it. You're welcome, Loretta. Thank you guys for your engagement, because that's what this is for. This is for engagement, not for me to just talk. So first of all, for those of you who really resonate with this power that I'm talking about and resonate with Paris, even if you've never been, but you resonate on an energetic level and you want to transform at a core and permanent level and become practically unrecognizable to yourself a year from now, like really becoming that woman who you see in your mind, who's almost like, how on earth would I become that woman? A woman who is clear in her language and is willing to be with people in full authenticity, who's willing to not only ask for, but to have what it is that you want financially, in relationship, and receiving the help, the quality of life, the everything. And you really appreciate the way I model that, and you want that for yourself. You really, really want to come here to Paris. You will be changed in such a radical way. And look, if Paris is not your thing, we can work together virtually. So I'm not saying Paris is the only way. What I'm saying is, it's like you get it or you don't. You get it or you don't. And I am turned on because of the chateau in France. I mean, ultimately, women are going to be coming here, right? Whether it's 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, mark my words. And we're going to start small. We have started small. It's already begun. And so the email, questions@theopulentlife.com, is the beginning. First of all, I want to know in the comments, who here resonates with living here in Paris, in Paris, working with me, over a long period of time, anywhere from 6 months to a year, changing at a core and permanent level, creating the money, revolutionizing your relationship with yourself, your identity, how you show up in the world. Who here deeply, deeply resonates with that and sees themselves living that reality? I'd love to know. While I read these comments, and I'm going to go on to the next story I want to share. Okay, thank you for sharing that. Is it Michaela? I'm guessing that perhaps there's a C missing from your name. I could be wrong. What was the email you sent yesterday to set up a time to speak with you? It's Michaela. I mean, it's questions at theopulentlife.com. And my client care manager is on the West Coast. So like it's about what 9:30 a.m. for her right now. So if she didn't get back to you yesterday, she should be getting back to you today. Questions at theopulentlife.com. I'll put it here for you since I can. There you go. There's the email to discuss working together, whether it's here in Paris or virtually. Oh, Daniela. Okay. Ah, okay, Daniela. Wonderful. So anybody resonate with that? I haven't gotten any feedback that's like, yes, I see that and resonate with that. Because I'll just look, stop talking about it here if no one resonates with that. Because that's what I care about. Because the transformation at a core and permanent level, that is how it's happened for me. And so the way I see it is women who are part of why that's happened for me is because I'm to show other women how to really do that and become that through this way of immersing themselves in another space. So say no, so I know that you're even, right? If you don't resonate with the Paris experience, put no. You won't bother me, it's fine. Got it. Okay, got it. Okay, got it. Okay, got it. Good. Thank you for sharing that. So, if virtual is the way for you, send the email to questions at theopulentlife.com and Varice will schedule a time. If it makes sense, obviously, she's going to inquire with your needs and all that. And if it makes sense, then schedule a time for us to connect. But the one area that I want to discuss as quickly as possible before I go today is this way, and it happens in different ways, but this is one way that it happened for me, that life was testing me. And this way that we run from our power in ways that seem to be right and good, but are actually not for us. And so it's very unorthodox. This is what happened. This was in 2014. Yep, 2014. I was living in West Sacramento, California at the time with my mother. And I was looking to do some local workshops in the downtown Sacramento area. And I was calling people that I had found on the internet or social media or something like that. And I ended up having a conversation with this woman who lived in the Bay Area, who had a boyfriend who lived in Sacramento, who had a venue. And she was feeling like, oh my goodness, we could do these venues at my boyfriend's venue. We could do these workshops at my boyfriend's venue in downtown Sacramento. So she happened to be coming up to Sacramento that next day. So I had never met this woman before. I never met her boyfriend. We had just connected online. She's like, let's meet. I'm like, yes, let's meet. She's like, and let's meet at my boyfriend's venue. Awesome, let's do it. So we meet at the boyfriend's venue and he greets me at the door. It's a beautiful venue in downtown Sacramento. And he greets me and instantly I'm attracted to him, right? And I hold it, like I hold my cool, totally keep it together, right? And so then she comes, I wrote a blog post about this too, which was crazy to write. Anyway, so then she comes, he's there, And then she comes and it's like, oh, great, hi, right? We meet each other kind of thing. And so I hug her, right? Because I can already feel the dynamics at play. Like he and I had this kind of eye contact, be cool, don't, right? Don't. In my mind, I'm like, don't, be cool, right? And so I hug her, then I hug him. And then so I remember I step into the space and nobody's directing like where we're going to go sit down. And yet I'm feeling like we want to sit down. So then I see some chairs. And so I direct us to go. I just start walking for us to go sit in this area where I see a seating area. And so we sit down and we're talking, right? We have a 1 hour meeting. We're talking about this and that and ideas and visions and this and that. And what I'm noticing about myself in this meeting is that I'm getting hotter and hotter. Like literally, my pussy is swelling. I'm horny. I can feel this chemistry that he and I are sharing. It's something out of this world. And it's us three sitting here together. This woman who I just met on the internet like a day or two before. I'm meeting her for the first time right now. I'm meeting him for the first time right now. And inside, I'm going crazy. And not only am I going crazy, I'm using so much energy to keep myself contained, right? And I'm just, it's because it's exhausting as a woman. I don't know if you guys have experienced, I'm sure you have. But it's easy to forget when you do it so naturally. I think if this has become, I think for me, it had become such a normal thing that it was easy to ignore, but because I was in a place of waking up, because 2014 was a big year of waking up for me and actually meeting the tests that life were throwing my way. And so what happened? Okay, so we end the meeting and I leave and I go sit in the car. And it's literally like I got in the, it's like I was, keeping it together, smiling, being professional. Then I go get in the car and it's like, I go get in the car because I'm exhausted now because I've been putting forth so much effort to contain my sexual energy versus learning how to use that for good, right? Learning how to use that in conversation and have authentic conversation and engaging people and being radically honest. And like, this does not happen in the world. So here I am in the car exhausted and I can't even immediately drive off because I'm tired. I need to like regain myself, come to my senses. And I sit in the car for like 15 minutes. And I remember I was just like, oh, what am I going to do? And after I breathe and I'm kind of sitting there for a minute, then I'll start freaking out at a whole new level because what has happened is I'm feeling excited, even just revisiting that mentally. So they're wanting me to get back to them the next day. Because in this meeting, we've discussed some ideas and what it could look like and all that. And everyone's excited and they're like, okay, good. Let's talk tomorrow. Let me know what you think. And right, they're excited to do some collaboration together. And in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, as turned on as I am, there's no way that I can hide like this and work with you guys in a healthy way. This is what I don't tell them this, but this is what I'm thinking. So then I'm in the car freaking out and I pull off and I'm driving and I'm literally like in another world because my pussy is talking. This is what I mean by pussy power. Women don't know how to do with this. Most women are shut this down. They'll lie and be like, right, make up a story, run from it. And like, if I was wanting to stay disempowered and sleep, that's what I would have did. I would have been like, I can't. I would have called them back and been like, it was so nice meeting you guys. Thank you. But I thought about it and maybe now's not the time or whatever. I would have done some little girl shit, right? And this is what most women do, right? And so if I would have done that, and women who do that, and because I have done that before and run from it, I've seen where then I resent women who I see in their power. And then I start thinking judgmental things about them because I'm not willing to be what they have been. And I see women who do that with me now. It's such a dynamic thing where kind of like the politician who's like a hardcore against gay people wants to make laws against gay people and is like bashing. And then you find out that he's a closeted gay person, right? It's the same thing. Women who like resent sexually empowered women and resent women who are very expressive and open and willing and engaging and willing to play and be in life. They like, talk bad about them and try to make up stories and paint them in a negative light, all because they're not willing to be in their bliss, right? Shine their light, tap into the power of their pussy and use that in conversation with any and everybody, right? And that was me once upon a time. And so I saw that what was happening was I was blessed with the opportunity to rise in my sexual power or run from it. So, but I'm freaking out in this moment, right? Because it's always awkward before it's elegant. Remember that. It's always awkward before it's elegant. And so I call a girlfriend of mine because I need to talk to somebody. And not only that, I go to the store to get some macaroni and cheese and some fried chicken because I'm like, pussy is, what am I going to do? And I was very much emotionally eating at that time. So I'll call my girlfriend, like, we got to talk. She doesn't answer the phone, but then she sends me a text back, like, okay, we can talk in 20 minutes. And I'm like, I need to talk now. And she's like, okay, 20 minutes, 20 minutes. So we get on the phone with her. And I'm telling her what happened. I'm like, this is what happened. What I go through? And I'm going crazy. And I remember I'm sitting in the car. I just bought the fried chicken and the macaroni and cheese, and I'm sitting in the car in the parking lot of the grocery store telling her about what happened. And what am I going to do? And they want to hear from me tomorrow. And I want to work with them and they want to work with me. But there's no way I can work with them like this because I totally want to feel like I want to fuck this guy, but he's dating her. And, right? And in my mind, I'm knowing the power here is meeting this in the truth. The power is meeting this in the truth, not trying to make it sound any kind of way, not trying to, flip it and run away from it and judge it and like, no, don't do anything other than meeting it for the truth of what it is. No manipulation, no lies, no nothing. Like I knew that the power was in being radically honest. And instead of running from that, making excuses, saying maybe next time, saying like, that's not the right thing to do, that's disrespectful, that's a violation, and going through all this drama, I decided, having that conversation with my girlfriend, I'm going to have this radically honest conversation with them, and I'm going to tell them exactly how I feel. We'll see what comes out of it, right? That's exactly what I did. So you know what I did? Got off the phone with my girlfriend, literally sent a text to the woman and said, I would love to have a meeting, a 3-way meeting on the phone with you guys tomorrow morning. She said, sure, great. We did that. Next morning comes, I'm freaking out. So first I want to highlight something. Let me pause this for a minute. So you guys notice, so at the end of 2013 is when I made this decision that I was going to not only really step into my power as a woman, that I was going to make more money than ever, that I was never going to be poor and broke again, and that I was going to do whatever was necessary for me to do and stepping into my power so that I could become the woman that I needed to be a leader in the world, to make the money, etc. And you see these events that happened that's testing if I'm really willing to become that woman or if I'm just going to talk about it. Because these incident with my mother, this incident that I'm sharing now, these all happened within like 3 months of each other. You guys see what's going on here? This is what's going to happen for you. It's already happening for you. Madeline has already shared it here. And so here morning comes. It's like 30 minutes before the phone call. I'm sweating. I'm just like, oh God, right? Did I really just do this? Am I really going to say the same, right? So here we go. We get on the phone. She gets on the phone first. He's wrapping up a phone call. So he comes on. She and I are talking, and then he comes on to the phone 3-way about 5 minutes after she and I are already on the phone. This is 2014, you guys, 3 years ago. And, I thanked them for being on the phone line for this, three-way thing. And I said to them, look, I want to be very honest with you guys about something. And so I thanked them for the meeting that we had the day before, whatever else I said, cordial, like introduction into the three-way conversation. And I told them straight up, I said, in that meeting yesterday, I was incredibly turned on. And I felt like I wanted to have sex with, let's just say his name is Michael, right? And I felt like I wanted to have sex with Michael. And I said, I know this is not about sex. I know this is about power. This is about me not running from power, and it's showing up in the form of this sexual attraction to this man. And I said, I just don't see how we can work together with me feeling this and it not being a problem for you. I said this to the woman. And I said whatever else I said, it was like radically honest. I shared what I felt, how I saw things working out. And you know what the response was? The guy said, I want to thank you so much for your honesty. Not many people would do that. And I respect you so much for that. And the woman said, I want to thank you too. And she also said, I agree, we should not work together. Because this is like a thing, right? Power. And we ended the conversation amicably. And that was the end of, there was other stuff that happened later. But what happened for me after that conversation, the primary thing that's most important in this story, and that's important for you as a woman who's committed to making more money than you ever have in your business, committed to being a visible leader who's publicly powerful, is that I had such an increased level of self-respect for myself. It's like I literally went from here to here in life. I went from here to here by confronting that and meeting that in power as a woman versus judging it, reverting, making up stories, playing some game behind some mask, etc. This is what's necessary for you, and it's also what your clients want. Really what every woman wants who wants to be in power. So I'm ready to close out now. Does anybody have any questions or anything they want to say before I go? As you're typing, I want to say this, as this is the last day for this 3-day live affair. If you would like to talk with me about working together, about your current state of womanhood, where you feel like you're fucked up, where you feel like you're a hot mess, and where you deep down, you know what's available for you, whether there's a certain amount of money you want to make, certain things you want to do with your children, certain change you want to see in your life in the next 30, 60, 90 days, which I'm excited to support you with. There's a lot of power in having 30, 60, and 90-day goals that you're ready for, that you believe in, and then being supported and making them real. Would love to support you in that. So if you have resonance here, and you like to be supported by me, send an email to questions@theopulentlife.com. Again, questions@theopulentlife.com. Bye-bye, Loretta. Yeah, the replay you should be receiving that tomorrow. Questions, which is plural, questions@theopulentlife.com. Okay? It's very hard to play the game of womanhood alone, which is why we're creating a family, both in Paris and virtually. And so I would love to be a leader in your world and helping you become the woman who has the money and has the impact in the world that you want to make. So I'm going to give it, I think everyone has already spoken here. I don't think there's any other questions or anything. Yeah, we're done. Beautiful. It's been a joy, such a joy. lots of love. You guys take good care of yourselves, and I look forward to connecting with you again very soon. Mwah. An au revoir from Paris.